Hey Ollie, what's going on?
What's going on, you guys? This is Garage Couple Disneyland Style Edition intro.
Welcome back to episode 2. On this episode, we are sending Ollie to the moon. On this episode, we are going to continue to fix this cheap Jeep Wrangler that we got. We have lots of parts installed. Our garage is fully taken over, so why don't we just hop right into it and turn this thing around?
Let's do it, but first bring me back down.
You got it. The only problem is going down is at the 5th speed of going back up.
All right.
Let's do it, guys. What happened?
You didn't tell me you opened the bag already.
The bag is open.
Okay.
Arlene just made a total mess with those plastic razor blades.
Ah, they're sharp.
They're pretty sharp. So we're gonna do like 4 or 5 different things on the Wrangler on this episode. What is the first thing we're doing?
We are gonna remove the decals using the plastic I just spilled and a little bit of Goo Gone.
Does that Goo Gone, does this actually work on goo in my life?
It's gone. It's real strong. We are gonna remove some of the decals that came on the Jeep. Some of them are absolutely fantastic. We're just not a fan of decals on the Jeep, so we're gonna start with the Goo Gone and those plastic removers.
What about the Cubs license plate that everyone wanted us to keep on?
Unfortunately, we're gonna remove it, you guys. We're only repping GC whole life.
The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna degrease that engine bay. We're gonna show you how to do it without damaging any of the electricals. The third thing we're gonna do is, as you can see, we don't have headlight bezels, as well as we have our least favorite things.
Yeah.
Halogen headlights. We're gonna get rid of those halogen headlights and put on some RGB halo headlights. And we are gonna
Change the interior light
this
bulbs,
is
right?
Yeah, this is a loaded episode. What we're gonna do is we're gonna change out the instrument panel lights because they are also they're also the not nice halogen ones, and we're gonna put
And then, LED. And then we're gonna align the Jeep with our new alignment tool because we usually do our alignments at home. We just discovered a new alignment tool by Vivor, so we are gonna show you that as well. While we do have a lot of stuff to get to.
we have a lot of stuff to get to on this one, but by the end of it, it's gonna be a totally different Jeep. Now, if you're wondering, we got our hands on one of these airbag lifters from Vivor. We are excited to have this tool. The more tools we have, the better. And I think this is a quick way without using a whole lot of space in order to lift the Jeep up and down. By the way, all of the products we're using in this video are gonna be in the description. We have a ton to do, so why don't we go ahead and get to it?
Let's start by spraying the Goo Gone on those decals, let them marinate and get to another job, and then revert back to this after it's soaked in.
I like that. I like the marination. The first one's here, Arlene, right there.
All right.
That little guy.
Thank you for
Thank
your
you for your service, but we no longer need your service. Thank you. And then as we remove the Green Breeze Chrysler Jeep, we're better and we'll prove it decal. I guess, what do we do for that one?
Take that off also. We take that off also. And the last but not least, I love my dog. This is magnetic? Why so thick?
Oh.
I
Some
love my
people
dog.
ask us if we actually do any work around here. The answer is no.
I love the smell of Goo Gone. I can even just,
Oh,
a little
shoot.
spray
Some
before
deal?
our dinner date, huh?
Oh my gosh, that would be the dream come true.
All right.
But then we might both smell the same. Get it? Because I also... Alrighty, the next thing we're going to be doing is using this SuperTech engine degreaser to go ahead and piece by piece degrease the engine. Let's get to it.
Engine degreaser. Degrease your husband.
Keep it up. Keep it up over there. For those that don't know, I'm a doctor. Wear gloves like this all the time, but my favorite time wearing these goggles is under the Jeep. These gloves is when working on the Jeep, and we actually got these professional style gloves, so why don't we put them to the test. So step 1, peel it back like a banana. As you know from the last episode, we replaced this battery because it went dead on us on the first day, as well as we put one of these universal tie downs here. So the battery is much more secure and doesn't wiggle around. We also put in an air filter because when we got the Jeep, there was no air filter. So now that we've replaced those two parts, we have not yet changed the oil. We'll do that in a later episode. Time to degrease this whole thing. Be sure to stick around because we're gonna also show you a clean way to put the headlights in. And we also forgot to mention, we're gonna also put in this aux beam control panel, which is a DIY friendly all-in-one switch panel, so that my wiring no longer looks like a rat's nest. Check it out. Ollie just getting in the socials here. Give it a nice shake and just spray all of the surfaces. And now the fun part. We're each gonna grab a rag and we're gonna go ahead and wipe it down, and let's make this thing look like brand new. And just like that, with a little bit of elbow grease and degreaser, looks like a brand new engine. What are we gonna go on to next?
Let's go remove those decals that we were soaking up.
Let's do it.
Before we move on to removing those decals, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the content. When you guys subscribe and support us, it gives us the ability to make all these cool episodes and get new Jeeps like this one to build up and show you how you can make that rig just for you. Let's go to those decals.
Really helps us out, guys, so thank you so much. So the trick here is to use these plastic razor blades. They actually sell a holder for these, but you know, it's easy enough to just use your fingers. I mean, look at that. It turns a difficult job into something that's super easy, and look, just like that, it's gone. Pull it. Let's do the other ones. What do you think?
That was so easy.
Oh yeah?
Looks like Greg already got to this one a little bit, broke the top of it. You see that?
And so we don't bore you, let's fast forward. Headlights coming up next. Let's see what it looks like. How's it going?
Coming along.
That second one just taking a little bit longer, but with those razor blades, it's a job that no one can have an issue with. Let's see. Oh, not bad. Almost there.
Yeah.
All right, why don't I show you guys the headlights that we went with. These headlights are from AM Off-Road. They are RGB style, and we are very excited. As you can tell, we have lots of different adapters and connectors so that our wiring doesn't look like a rat's nest. We even have these waterproof. All of this is going to be in the description below. These are the headlights we went with, very basic style, but RGB nonetheless. So we are really excited because these have a control module, and we're hoping that it works very seamlessly. Should be an easy install with some T-taps. So once Alin's done there, we'll go ahead and get her done.
Elbowing it out, and we are done.
Looks like new.
Wow, that looks great.
All right, let's hop on over to the headlights.
Let's go. On to the headlights, but before that, make sure to stay tuned because we are gonna do the DIY alignment with a tool from Vivor. Super easy to align your vehicle at home with this tool, and the link will be in the description below if you want to check it out.
If you haven't seen our previous video on alignment, we used to use push pins. Push pins no longer, we have a much better method. You okay?
Something pull my nose. Sorry.
All right, let's do the headlights.
Using a T10, you are going to remove the factory headlights.
Who's happy that we got rid of the Angry Bird grill?
You are. Headlights out, and look how disgusting this thing looks. This looks, what?
That is terrible.
What?
Absolutely terrible.
All right.
So one of the tips and tricks while installing LED headlights is as soon as you put it in, make sure to turn it on before you fasten it down so that you get the beam pattern correct. You don't want it pointing sideways one way or another. You want it to point directly, perfectly level. So go ahead and as you put it back in, plug it in.
And don't forget about adjusting its level so that you are not shining your headlight into the driver's in front of you.
Now, as you see, this one has two plugs. This is the regular headlight, high beam and low beam functionality right over here. and this is the RGB functionality. So we're gonna just go ahead and plug it in now.
Inspecting a stripped bolt, and it's out.
Wow, I'm already loving the difference. We're not quite there. Put the headlights. Wow. Awesome. And put the high beam. Wow. Beautiful.
If you didn't notice already, the headlights are missing the bezel that goes around that headlight. So we ordered some on Amazon. We'll put the link to that below. Greg's gonna start putting those in while I get started on the other headlight. Let's go. While I was taking out the screws, I snapped 2 of the spots where the screws come out of. It is old and brittle, so just be careful when you are undoing them. So we'll have to buy a replacement housing for that.
No problem.
Just things that happen when you work on an old Jeep, you guys. It's okay. For the sake of the video, Greg?
Oh my god. We're doing the unimaginable.
Which is?
Super glue. Say super glue failed.
Oh, here we go. Greg, tell us.
Alright, super glue is no good, guys. Don't waste your time with super glue. We're going to use some JB Weld. You don't need a lot. This is actually the JB Quick.
Whoops.
Time to mix. I guess you can call me an artist. Oh, what is that? Picasso? A lot of you wonder why I don't directly look at the camera. And it's because I look at my wife instead. So just leave me alone, huh?
All right.
Alrighty there, Hefeweizen.
All right. Let's get them capped and picked. What?
And just like that, like it never happened, this JB Weld stuff is pretty amazing. Why don't we go ahead and mount the headlight? So when wiring the RGB halo on these new headlights, we want to wire them to something that is fused. Otherwise, they're just going to stay on the entire time, no matter what, if you plug it directly into the battery. So we took apart this front turn signal here. We're going to use a blue T-tap down the middle wire, which is the parking light, so that we can connect that directly to the apparatus that allows us to RGB these headlights. Let's do it. Here's the other end of that T-tap that we were just talking about. We're gonna crimp on the male end or onto this thing. And this is just a spare wire. Just make sure that's snug. Let's make it look professional. Put a bead of electrical tape on there. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna pass this wire into the behind this right side headlight. So just gonna fish it in. Go ahead and plug that in. Now for good measure, use some electrical tape and seal that up. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this loop end off using a wire cutter. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip the end. This is the positive. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the yellow wire that we just created. I'm going to give myself a little slack. I might eventually need to use this for something else. Strip the end. Give it a nice twirl. We're going to use these nice adapters we got from Amazon, where you basically thread the wire in and then you use a source of heat to kind of solder it together. So this is a waterproof. This is waterproof. Just make sure you align those copper tabs. Grab yourself a lighter or a heat gun and let it do its thing. So what I did next was I grounded it on one of these nuts over here. Very nice that TJ's come with that. And then as you see, I just taped this up with some black, with some of the electrical tape. And now we put our parking lights on and we're gonna see what kind of business we got ourselves into.
Who knows?
Is it connected? Oh, it is. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, that's super cool. And you change the brightness. Nice. I like it. What do you think?
Looks great.
Looks cool. So why don't we continue? Let's see if this thing did the trick. I don't really know.
The JB weld held. That sounds like it rhymes.
I think they did that on purpose. That's too good to be true.
Now we're wrapping up the headlight to get back to the wiring. Greg is fishing the RGB cable through the back of the grill to get to the other headlight. Always have a handy bag, a zip tie's ready to go, and we'll zip tie that back there. Ooh. Wow, that looks sick.
You like it?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I actually like the color.
I like the color too. So it looks like this kit was designed for a Jeep JK. So it comes with a bunch of extra wiring, like for the fog lights and whatnot. We're not going to use this. We could actually cut this off, but for now we're just going to leave it, zip tie it, and put it off to the side. Lucky for us, it's a 4-cylinder and it has tons and tons of room under the hood. So we're just going to zip tie this all, and then we're going to zip tie the wiring that goes across with the factory wiring, just so that it looks neat and tidy behind the grill.
These headlights look sick and the app works flawlessly. We have come across headlights that don't really have the app that works properly, but this one is from AM Off-Road, and if you're interested in them, we'll drop the link in the description below. Let's move on to the interior lights.
Let's do it! Do it, do it, do it. Jeep's coming together, Arlene.
2 more things, you guys. Interior lights, and let's get this baby aligned.
Let's do it. So the interior panel lights, we're gonna use these Oxido 194 style bulbs. I will leave them in the description so you can find them. Now, I got these super bright ones that I've never used before. I hope they work. They may not work, but all it takes to replace them is a Phillips and a flathead. So we're just gonna go ahead and very quickly in the next 10 minutes have these in. Usually I say that to put that juju into the universe.
So it goes quick. And this is dope. This is Doberman, Snubberman. This is our baby number 2.
This is baby number 1,
Hi, Mama. Hi, guys.
our little family.
We're taking a little while outside, so they wanted to join. All right, go, 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 go. Go, go, go.
Go, baby.
You're good.
Lights. Good times.
Two more Phillips to go. Greg got one out. This is number 2.
Okay. We love.
Four more Phillips holding the speedometer. Almost there, you guys.
Almost there. Overall, though, pretty quick.
So the bulbs are pretty much screwed in. So go ahead and grab some pliers.
Rotate it a little counterclockwise and pull it out.
Well, there we go.
Just like so. Now, let's see if the new ones fit. I have a feeling they're not gonna fit. And don't forget, these are polar, so it may work one way, it may not work the other way. And the verdict is totally the wrong bulb. Gonna have to put it all back together, do this another time.
Alrighty, on to the alignment.
Let's do the alignment. So when we talk about alignment, we are specifically talking about towing in and towing out the front wheels. That's pretty much all you can align on a factory Jeep Wrangler, especially a Wrangler TJ. Now, many vehicles have the option to camber, caster, tow in, tow out. So the tow is basically when you look straight onto the tires, how much they point in versus how much they point out from each other. On a stock Wrangler, you want them to have at least 1/16 of an inch to 2/16 of an inch towing in. You want them to point into each other so that as you go to highway speeds, they start to point out and go straight. Now, if your tires are not towed in properly, you will have a shimmy, could feel like death wobble. On our particular Jeep, you cannot go above 45 miles an hour. We have this major issue where as soon as you hit 45, I have never seen any of our 5 Jeeps shake and wobble this bad before, so I'm hoping it's just the alignment and it's not any of the other components. Now, once you adjust the tow, make sure to adjust the steering wheel angle as well. We made a video on this in the past. Basically, this video, I'm not going to go into super detail. I'm going to let you know that we have done this before, but this is the first time we are using these tow in and out plates from Vivor. Now, this takes all of the guesswork out of it because they go onto each tire on either side. We'll show you how it's done. And using the 2 included tape measures, it shows you the exact tow in and tow out measurement as you do it. So why don't we go ahead and show you.
And it's no longer a 2-person job.
Yeah, it turns into a 1-person job for sure. I'm sure you're happy about that.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Then 1 person it is.
So one of the first things you want to do is drive this thing in perfectly straight so that the wheels are parallel. Now, it has these 2 pegs, which ideally, in an ideal world, sit on the lip of the rim to tell you that you're perfectly square. The problem is, even on this stock Wrangler, we are not able to do that because the tire is too high off the ground. So as you can see, if we were to lift it, it would hit the rim easier. But what we can do is position them so that they're very, very close. Very, very close to the rim so that it's only off by a tiny amount. Just like so. Why don't we go ahead and do this to both sides, but as you can see, it feels very flush and square. So these are the included tape measures, and there's nice notches and a place that they get held into place. So that's why it's wobbling. It's currently towed out 4/16 of an inch. So using a pipe wrench like this, you just go ahead and adjust the front tie rod, which you can see in our other video. Keep doing this, keep measuring, take it out for a spin until you get it just right, and then you're good to go. Not gonna have to put you through that all over again, but that's pretty much it for this install. So check out that video for full step-by-step instructions. Let's not rehash it out in this one.
Want me to show?
I don't know. Well, there you have it, guys. Episode 2 is a wrap. We did a ton on this episode. We are exhausted. We are ready for episode 3. Just to kind of give you a sneak peek, episode 3 is going to have to do with bumpers. So if you want to see that episode, make sure you stay tuned for next weekend so that you could watch that one too. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as our TikTok and our Instagram so you don't miss out on any of our content.
All of our tools and all of the products that you saw in today's it's been a long day. On today's episode will be right below us, so check them out if you're interested. Aside from that, thanks for coming along for the ride for this new 03 TJ.
TJ with the 4-cylinder.
Oi, oi, oi.
Thank you for watching, guys. See you next time.